Search operations continue in Himachal Pradesh, where 24 engineering students, one faculty member and a tour guide were swept away after water was released from a dam near Manali yesterday evening at around 6:30.
That's right. That's right. That deluge coming without any warning is what they're saying. We did see HRD Minister Smriti Irani visit the site of the tragedy, coordinating now relief for the survivors. 21 people are still unaccounted for, and there really is a hope against hope. The prayer is that they may have somehow miraculously survived. The residual Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu arranging a special flight for parents of these students from Hyderabad to reach the spot. 4 bodies have been pulled out of the Pandor Dam so far. Those search operations and rescue operations continuing. We're told that last evening students who'd come from Hyderabad on a sightseeing tour were taking pictures of the Beas River when suddenly extra water was released from Larji Dam. The dam officials there have been suspended, but say they did sound an alarm. Now people on the site saying perhaps the students didn't realize what that hooter signified. The locals also saying there was no alarm.
This is not an occasion for political mudslinging. This is an occasion to provide relief to those who have survived, to provide even relief to those who have lost their dear ones, and to ensure that we don't visit such sites after such horrific incidents. I have expressed my concern to the local administration with regards to intermediate checkposts which should be available.
बॉडीज अभी रिकवर हुई हैं और बाकी जो बॉडीज मिसिंग हैं उनको निकालने के लिए पूरी कोशिश और हमारी पूरी संवेदना उन परिवारों के साथ है जिनके बच्चे जो है इसमें डूबे हैं और हमारे ईश्वर से प्रार्थना करते हैं जिनकी आत्मा को शांति प्रदान करे.
The students actually were not in any depth. They were very close to the shore, and they were on rocks, boulders which were like 5 to 6 feet high. Within like half minute or 1 minute, the whole boulder that was 5 or 6 feet high, that was submerged nearly by the time we went there. We did not hear any kind of siren, and if there was any kind of siren, that would have sent as a warning at least to us, to the faculty members and the caretakers, the tour operator and so on. And like I said, we told the students very strictly not to get into the water, and no one got into the water. It's very, very unfortunate that water actually got onto them, and all the 24 were swept away along with the tour guide who was trying to help them. There was nothing we could do really. The water was, like I said, initially there was hardly 1 or 2 feet deep water that was not flowing so much, and I mean within a few moments it was like water that was at least 5 feet or 6 feet high and flowing at a much higher pressure because of the dam gates that were open. We got the dam gates closed within probably like 5 or 6 minutes. I mean, the locals say they have been shouting and there were whistles from the road asking us to come back, but down there we could not hear them. But definitely a siren would have been much louder and more apparent. I don't know how much a swimmer could have done. The currents would be too strong. I mean, as a swimmer, as seeing at the look of the surface of the water, I can say the currents would be too strong to even swim ashore. But they were very close to the shore and still.
So we were in the bus behind. So while we came there, the people went down actually. So I was asking them to come up. Suddenly there was water flow, and suddenly the people washed away.
They were standing on a stone. We tried to save them, but they were washed away along with the stone. The whole thing happened within a span of 2 to 3 minutes.
We were panicking all around, sir. Means water level is rising up. All people are shouting that we will go out, we'll go out, but things would not happen because all just happened in just 2-3 minutes. We were thinking we will be going off to the shore easily, but the path which we came on the rocks, that means round rock, so we could not able to step on that rocks. Meanwhile, water flow also got increased, so the people who are around could not step easily.
Did you hear any cries for help eventually?
Yeah, they were crying. That they are shouting. They were shouting, but we are in a helpless situation because the flow was very high. The bad part is there is no siren or no alarm from the place.
Worst part is the rescue team जो है वो 3 घंटे तक कोई भी response नहीं था उससे. And जब हमने एक पुलिस ऑफिसर से पूछा क्या वो नेट्स वगैरह वो लगाए क्या, उसका इंतजाम हुआ क्या वो डैम के करीब, बोले तो उन्हें बोल रहा था कि कंट्रोल रूम को कॉल करके हमको कंफर्म करना पड़ेगा. सो ऐसा था रेस्पॉन्स उन लोगों से.
The resident engineer, he has also been suspended. We are going to ask him really what happened. What happened? Why did you release the water so suddenly into the river?
The water was released so suddenly into the river because the dam was already full. The load was being governed by the commands of the SLDC. It has been confirmed and checked by the staff of the available at the dam site on at that time on the duty. It has been confirmed by them that they have sounded the hooters before releasing the water into the Beas River. Also, the local residents that were those were available alongside the banks of the river at that time, they definitely warned the students to come out of the river again and again. But
right, so the students did not heed the warning. Do you think there are any chances of anybody surviving this kind of a flow?
The chances are really very bleak, and definitely wish somebody did survive.
Our government itself not done anything. How we are expecting to the Himachal Pradesh? Irresponsibly they opened the gates, and they are the main cause of this incident is the Himachal government. They have to be punished. The government has to be punished.
Let's talk to Jyoti Kamal, who joins us live from the site of that tragedy, Pando Dam. And Jyoti, even as calls are now for punishment and to figure out what actually went wrong, you're bringing us those heartbreaking stories. People are just hoping against hope that somehow the 21 missing, most of them students, may somehow have miraculously survived.
That's right. In fact, we are here at the Pando Dam where, in fact, rescue operations are still on. The search operations are still on. Boats are being launched into the dam to figure out if they can still fish out any bodies. But the countdown to disaster started at 6 p.m. yesterday when these students who were on their way to Kulu, they decided to go down into the river and take photographs there. They went down. On the other hand, the clock was ticking away at the dam where the level was rising because of excessive snow melt due to abnormal heat conditions this time round. And the generation was going down. They had to release the water. They released the water. They sounded a hooter. That's what they claimed. The hooter was not heard by the students. There were whistles also blown by the villagers who knew what was happening, but again the students misunderstood the whistles, or they could not figure out what the whistles were for, and they did not clear the area. And before anybody could react, the water which was just lapping at their feet reached several feet and it inundated all of them. Dam and the Pando Dam and the Beas River that's flowing in between is a 15-kilometer long stretch. You can see that several boats which are there now to be looking for bodies have also been deployed. A lot of them are volunteers who are now going through this entire stretch. You can see that the flow of water is very intense. If you look towards the left side, you can see that it's almost like whitewater rafting here. So the students had got down into the water. They had wanted their photographs to be clicked. They had not anticipated that there's going to be a sudden surge in the level of the water, which happened because the Largi Dam suddenly released a lot of water into the Beas River, which was already flowing very fast, and the sudden increase in water caused all the students who were there towards the center of the river to tumble into the river. And because of the very rocky terrain that you can see all around and in the riverbed also, they started tumbling and rolling through the rocks. Deputy commissioners of adjoining districts are also here overseeing the operations. The Himachal government has taken action against the staff of the Largi Dam. Several have been suspended. Of course, investigation is also on as to why was this sudden release of water that took place. Why was it done? So of course, the staff there is saying that they followed the protocol. They sounded the warnings. The students did not hear the warnings.
Right now we have started finding the bodies or any survivors with the help of teams of rafters. They are already in the river, and hopefully we'll be finding if there are any survivors here.
How hopeful are you that the bodies are going to surface, and has the Pando Dam been closed?
No, dam is already been informed, so they will take care of the situation in terms of level of water and whatever is the possible for them to hold the water. But possibility of bodies coming up is also not very definite with immediate situation, because the bodies might have get stuck in some ravine or some some rocks and things like that. They surface later on.
Jyoti Kamal still with us. Jyoti, many of the parents that we have spoken to seem to suggest that the rescue reached too late. In fact, the first body we believe was pulled out only 12 hours after that tragedy happened. It happened at 6:30 in the evening. It was only by 6:30 this morning that the first body was pulled out. Also reports that there weren't enough divers at hand, that there were no flashlights available for search operations. Is that something you can confirm for us?
That's right. In fact, the incident happened at around 6, and the students had gone down towards the riverbed at about 6. By about 6:30, the incident happened, and the unfortunate timing was that it became dark soon after, and there could be nothing that could be launched thereafter. The river was flowing so swiftly; it flows through a very deep valley. To reach the riverbed itself is quite a challenge, and it's absolutely rocky terrain. It turned dark pretty soon, and it became an absolute impossibility to launch any kind of an operation through the night. And so the parents are right that nothing could be done through the night. No action was taken. It was only early in the morning when we also arrived at the spot that we saw that the first SSB teams were lowering their boats into the water, and they fished out the first body from the water. But of course, heart-rending scenes here as students stand here with a list in their hand of all the 24 students who are missing, and as the bodies are fished out, they tick them off, and after identifying them, so there are heart-rending scenes after they identify their friends and then tick them off on the list that these bodies have arrived, so they are confirmed gone, because they are still hoping against hope that the 21 who are still missing, maybe there's a miracle, maybe somebody has survived. But for now, it seems to be a losing game, because everybody seems to be indicating it's going to be a tough call.
Our thoughts and wishes and prayers going out to parents of those missing students, as you were pointing out, and police officials pointing out there. Finding any survivors at this point is next to impossible. It'll be a miracle if they do.
This is still hopes and prayers with them. Jyoti, thanks so much for the moment. Preeti Singh also visiting now the college in Hyderabad, VNR College, where these missing students are from.
When you were able to speak with the students who are safe now there, what was the kind of mood that you could sense from them? Obviously that of panic, but any information that they could share with you?
That's what they are terribly afraid of that one. They are really shaken up. And they are saying that one, all of a sudden this happened in front of them, only they lost their friends.
So definitely it's tragedy that's unfolded in front of the students, like sir here mentioning, like the PRO here mentioning, that it's a tragedy that unfolded in front of the very eyes of those students losing their friends there. But for now, the government of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana both telling us that they have arranged for special flights for the parents to be shifted to Chandigarh so that they can be there on spot. Also, government machinery in constant touch with the Himachal Pradesh administration to take stock of the situation from time to time. With camera person Venkatesh in Hyderabad, Preeti Singh.
KCR, the first CM of the Telangana state, he ordered for a special flight after consultation with the Air India, Indian Airlines people. Those who are willing to come to Hyderabad, and Hyderabad to Delhi or Chandigarh, the Telangana government is providing the facilities.